Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Revis Talk Sports. My name is John, and today we'll be going over the NFL divisional matchups. We'll go over all slates and give you my predictions and my best picks and bets for these games. Now, so first off, for our doubleheader for Saturday, we have the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. We have a spread of minus 9.5 favoring Baltimore. Houston came off a very good win from their first wild card game against Cleveland Browns. What a statement. Baltimore did have the first round bye, but now these two are meeting up. Let's dig deep into the numbers and see what my best picks will be for this game. All right, so for Baltimore, with their against the spread stats, usually as a whole team, as a home team this season, they're 5-4, and their margin of victory is about 14 points. As a home team favorite, they are 5-3 with a margin of victory of about 17 points per game. Versus conference team within the AFC, they are covering the spread 8-4 with a margin of victory of 9 points. And when they go up against non-divisional opponents within the AFC, they are 8-3, so pretty much hitting at a 72.7% clip with a margin of victory of 16 points. And Lamar Jackson, head to head with the Houston Texans in his career, he is 3-0 and undefeated, and all of those wins have been pretty much blowouts. So that's something that the Ravens have going to this game. Now for the Houston Texans, as an away team against the spread, they're 5-3 with a margin of victory of -2, which means that typically they aren't winning road games straight up as much with a lot of points. So that's usually what it means with the minus. As an away underdog, they are 4-1, hitting at an 80% clip with a margin of victory of about 2 points. So usually when this team is an away underdog, they're hitting at a pretty high clip. So that's a good thing that they have going for them as a road dog going to this game. Versus a conference team within the AFC, they are 8-5 with a margin of victory of 3.5 points, and against non-divisional opponents within the AFC, they are 6-6, 50%, and a margin of victory of about 2 points. The thing about Houston Texans is all of the road wins have came against non-playoff subpar teams. So typically, when you see that kind of stat, when they're on the road, they're winning on the road against subpar teams. When they're on the road, they're not winning against you know upper echelon playoff teams. And Ravens have multiple double-digit wins at home versus playoff teams. The blowout against Miami and the blowout against Detroit. So when the Ravens are home, they go crazy. Like they will score points and they'll do their thing. The first meeting, week one, the spread was 9.5, same thing as it is right now for the divisional matchup, and Baltimore won by 16 points. What I am going to say is the Houston Texans team from week one to now, they are different. Yesterday's money and today's money is different. By them kind of just giving out a show for the wild card game against the Browns. I'm sure everyone was probably choosing the Browns, but CJ Stroud's the real deal. I think this game won't be a blowout. I think it will be close. My pick for this game against the spread is taking the Houston at 9.5. I do see, Baltimore getting up a bit early, but CJ Stroud's a baller. They have a chance to do a backdoor cover or make this game a bit close since the Ravens are coming off a bye and the Ravens do have that underdog momentum going their way. But yep, my prediction score for this game is Baltimore Ravens 34, Houston Texans 27, and I do have the Houston Texans covering with the 9.5 spread. All right, so next game, Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers for the Saturday night game. This is a huge game. I'm excited to watch this game. We'll dive deep into the numbers, but I'll definitely give out, my feeling on this game, especially being a Packers fan. So for the against the spread stats for San Francisco this year, as a home team, they are 5-3, and their margin of victory as a home team is about 8 points. As a home team favorite, they're 5-3 with a margin of victory of 8 points. Versus conference teams within the NFC, they are covering at 10-2. Margin of victory is about 14 points, and when they go up against non-divisional opponents, they are 7-4 with a margin of victory of 11 points. So this 49ers team, when they're healthy, especially when they had, Trent Williams come back from his injury, Deebo Samuels come back from his injury, this 49ers team is just elite. Um, they pretty much are a juggernaut, especially, with Brock Purdy clicking, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo, Brendan Ayuk, George Kittle, and then you have your blind side protected by Trent Williams. Like, that is a great recipe to dominate teams. So when San Fran's healthy as a unit, they're great. They're a good team. All right, now so for the Packers, since they are the road team, as an away team, they are 5-5, 50% clip, average with a margin of victory of 5 points. As an away underdog, they're 3-4 with a margin of victory of 4 points. First conference team, they are 8-5, about 6.5 clip, with a margin of victory of 4 points. And against non-divisional opponents, they are 66. They are 6 for 6, 50% clip, with a margin of victory of 2 points. Something that about this Green Bay Packers team, I've watched every single game. When they play against opponents that aren't as good, I've noticed that the Packers tend to play down to their competition. But when they play against good teams and everyone's counting them out, backs against the wall, Green Bay kind of just has that frisky, sneaky, like upset appeal to them where like they do and have the potential to do an upset, but or keep it close. So that's been something about this Packers team. They were counted out for Thanksgiving against the Lions. They were counted out against the Chiefs. They were counted out against Dallas. So, and the three teams that I mentioned are playoff teams. So it shows that when they're kind of up against a playoff team and the whole world's against them, they've came out with W's. So this is something that has this is something that's great going Packers way, and I could definitely go down some stats that I was able to dig deep on my end. So San Francisco, I definitely apologize. So the spread at first was -10, but now it's dropped down to -9.5. I'm guessing the public started kind of hammering on the +10 of the Packers. But the San Francisco, when they are home favorite of at least 10 points or more, they were favored 4 times this year. They went 2-2 against the spread, and out of those 4 games, 3 of them were non-playoff teams. So when they were favored by at least 10 or more points this year, 3 out of the 4 games were against non-playoff teams, in which they obviously covered the spread, just blew them out. But that's a nugget to know as the spread for this Packers game and what their record was with that kind of spread during the season. But 3 of them were against non-playoff teams, so they haven't been favored at this spread against a playoff team, which is very intriguing to find out. The 49ers did lead the league or tied the league with interceptions as a defensive unit. 12 out of their 20 interceptions have came against non-playoff teams, subpar quarterbacks. Um, so they are intercepting the ball this year at a 60% clip, and those interceptions have came against non-playoff teams. The other 8 have been against playoff teams, but more times than not, they'll get a pick against a lower profile team that did not make the playoffs than they would against a playoff team. 7 out of their 12 wins came against non-playoff teams. So 58% of their wins came against non-playoff teams. But when they have faced the Packers in the playoffs, the last 4 meetings, San Fran's undefeated. So typically, the 49ers own the Packers in the playoffs the past 4 times they have met. That is heartbreaking to know. As a Packers fan, it kind of makes me give me some type of doubt, like, all right, they've kicked our ass the last 4 times. This might not be a win, but I'm hopeful. On the Green Bay side, when Green Bay has been an underdog of 6 or more points, they have covered every spread, and that was against the Lions, the Chiefs, Cowboys, all playoff teams. The Packers have the chance to become the first team to defeat Dallas and San Francisco in the same playoff bracket. So not only were they the first 7th seed to win a playoff game, they can also be the first team to beat Dallas and San Fran in the same playoff bracket, which is pretty hard and pretty crazy to know. Packers are 7-2 in the last 9 games, and their last Green Bay win against the 49ers was in 2002 when Brett Favre was the quarterback. That is a long time ago. Now when I start to kind of think about it, this obviously may come off as a biased pick, but I do believe that the Packers can pull off this upset. And I think the upset number will be Green Bay 34, 49ers 30. I think this game will go back and forth with the weather. I think Purdy might give up this game towards the end and give Green Bay the win. It's going to be a great game. Aaron Rodgers was 0 wins, 4 losses against the 49ers. So Jordan Love has the chance to do something that Aaron Rodgers has not been able to do, which is defeat the 49ers in the playoffs. Brett Favre never defeated the Cowboys in the playoff. Aaron Rodgers and Love have. Brett Favre beat the 49ers in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers never had. Love has the opportunity to do something that Favre and Rodgers, either or of them, have done against those prospective teams. And I would love to see history be created with Jordan Love. So give me the Packers upset. I know the whole world's against it. I might sound crazy. Give me the Packers upset. 34-30. Packers cover that 9.5 point spread.